The small bike repair shop on Maple Street had been Elena Vasquez's sanctuary for 10 years. Tucked between a coffee roastery and a vintage clothing store in downtown Portland, Oregon, Precision Cycles looked like any other neighborhood bike shop from the outside. Chrome handlebars gleamed in the afternoon sunlight streaming through dust-covered windows, while colorful road bikes and mountain bikes hung from ceiling hooks like mechanical art pieces. The familiar scent of chain oil and rubber tires filled the air, mixing with the distant aroma of freshly roasted coffee beans from next door. But what happened on a rainy Tuesday morning would transform Elena from an overlooked small business owner into the most sought-after tactical expert on the West Coast, revealing skills that would make hardened Marines question everything they thought they knew about precision and lethality. Elena knelt beside a high-end carbon fiber racing bike, her weathered hands moving with surgical precision as she adjusted the derailleur tension. At 34, she possessed the kind of quiet competence that came from years of methodical work, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail that kept it away from spinning wheels and moving chains. Customers often mistook her reserved demeanor for shyness, never suspecting that behind her calm exterior lay the mind of someone who had once been capable of placing a bullet through a target the size of a playing card from over a mile away. The morning rain drummed steadily against the shop's windows, creating a rhythmic backdrop to the gentle whir of her electric wheel truing stand as she made microscopic adjustments to ensure perfect spoke tension. "Miss Vasquez," called out Tommy Shun, a 12-year-old regular customer whose BMX bike seemed to require weekly attention despite Elena's impeccable repair work. "My chain keeps slipping when I try to do wheelies." The boy's enthusiasm was infectious, his eyes bright with the kind of mechanical curiosity that reminded Elena why she'd chosen this peaceful profession after leaving her previous life behind. She'd been drawn to bicycles because they represented everything her former career had lacked: simplicity, transparency, and the ability to fix problems without causing harm. Every component served an obvious purpose. Every adjustment produced a predictable result. And at the end of each day, she sent people home with transportation that made their lives better rather than ending lives from impossible distances. Electronic chime above the door announced another customer as Marine Gunnery Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez stepped into the shop, his civilian clothes doing little to disguise the ramrod-straight posture and alert eyes that marked him as active military. Rodriguez commanded the local Marine Reserve unit and had heard about Elena's reputation for precision mechanical work from other service members who'd brought their personal bicycles to her shop. What he hadn't expected was the almost surgical cleanliness of her workspace, where every tool occupied a designated spot and oil stains were nowhere to be found, despite the shop's obvious heavy use. The organization spoke to a type of discipline that went far beyond normal mechanical work, suggesting training that had nothing to do with bicycle repair. "I need someone who understands precision engineering," Rodriguez announced, his voice carrying the authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed without question. He pulled out his smartphone and showed Elena photos of custom motorcycle modifications his unit needed for an upcoming training exercise. "These bikes need to operate flawlessly under extreme conditions. Weight distribution has to be perfect. Mechanical tolerances can't vary by more than a few thousandths of an inch. And failure isn't an option because lives depend on the equipment working exactly as designed." Elena studied the technical specifications on his phone, her expression remaining neutral even as her mind automatically began calculating load factors, stress points, and potential failure modes with the kind of systematic analysis that had once helped her account for wind speed, temperature variations, and target movement at distances that would challenge most people's ability to see clearly. The shop's atmosphere grew quiet except for the continued patter of rain and the soft mechanical sounds of Tommy working on his bike chain in the corner. Elena set down her tools and gave Rodriguez her full attention, recognizing something in his bearing that reminded her of the professional relationships she'd once maintained with people whose lives depended on equipment functioning perfectly under pressure. "Gunnery Sergeant," she said quietly, her voice carrying just enough authority to make Rodriguez's eyebrows rise slightly. "Precision engineering for life-critical applications requires understanding not just how components work individually, but how they interact under stress conditions that push every specification to its absolute limit." Rodriguez studied Elena with new interest, noting how her casual reference to his rank suggested familiarity with military protocol that seemed odd for a civilian bike mechanic. More intriguing was her immediate understanding of the engineering challenges his unit faced, speaking about mechanical tolerances and failure analysis with the fluency of someone who'd received extensive technical training. "You sound like you've worked with military equipment before," he observed, his tone carefully neutral but his eyes sharp with curiosity. Elena returned to adjusting Tommy's derailleur, her movements steady and controlled, but Rodriguez caught the almost imperceptible pause that suggested his observation had hit closer to home than she'd wanted to reveal. The morning continued with its usual rhythm of customer consultations and repair work, but Rodriguez remained in the shop, ostensibly waiting for Elena to review his technical requirements, but actually observing how she approached each mechanical problem. Her diagnostic process was unlike anything he'd seen in civilian mechanics: systematic, methodical, and focused on identifying not just immediate issues, but potential failure points that might not manifest until equipment was subjected to extreme stress. When she explained to an elderly customer why his vintage touring bike needed a complete cable replacement rather than simple adjustment, her reasoning demonstrated understanding of metal fatigue and component interaction that suggested training far beyond what any bicycle repair certification would provide. Elena's hands moved with the kind of controlled precision that Rodriguez associated with military specialists who worked on equipment where mistakes could prove fatal. Whether she was installing new brake pads or adjusting suspension components, every movement served a specific purpose, every tool was returned to its exact position, and every repair was tested multiple times under different load conditions. The level of attention to detail reminded Rodriguez of the weapons maintenance protocols used by Marines whose lives depended on their equipment functioning flawlessly in combat situations, but applied to bicycles with an intensity that seemed almost excessive for civilian transportation needs. "Tommy, try your bike now," Elena called to the young customer, who eagerly climbed onto his BMX and began testing the chain tension she'd adjusted. The repairs were flawless, as Rodriguez had expected, but what caught his attention was how Elena watched the boy ride, her eyes tracking the mechanical interaction between chain, gears, and derailleur with the focused intensity of someone trained to observe system performance under operational conditions. When Tommy executed a successful wheelie without chain slippage, Elena's satisfied nod carried the same professional assessment Rodriguez had seen from military technicians, confirming that critical equipment was ready for deployment. The afternoon brought a steady stream of customers seeking everything from basic tune-ups to complex custom modifications, each interaction revealing more about Elena's unusual expertise. When a competitive cyclist requested aerodynamic improvements to shave seconds from his race times, Elena's recommendations demonstrated understanding of physics principles that went well beyond typical mechanical knowledge. She discussed air resistance, weight distribution, and rotational inertia with the same casual competence that Rodriguez associated with military engineers who designed equipment for operations where performance margins could determine mission success or failure. Rodriguez found himself increasingly intrigued by the contradiction between Elena's modest bike shop and her obvious technical sophistication. The shop's location in a trendy neighborhood suggested she'd chosen accessibility over profit maximization, while her pricing was fair to the point of being generous, particularly for complex work that would command premium rates elsewhere. Yet, her technical capabilities clearly exceeded those of mechanics who charged twice as much for less precise work, raising questions about why someone with her skills had chosen such an understated professional environment. The electronic door chime announced the arrival of Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a local emergency room physician who'd become one of Elena's regular customers after discovering that Elena's mechanical work consistently outlasted repairs performed elsewhere. "Elena, I need to talk to you about something unusual," Dr. Mitchell said, her voice carrying the kind of controlled urgency that healthcare professionals used when discussing serious situations without causing panic. Rodriguez pretended to continue studying the motorcycle specifications on his phone while actually listening to their conversation, his military training making him automatically alert to potential security situations. Dr. Mitchell pulled Elena aside to a corner of the shop where Tommy couldn't overhear their conversation, but Rodriguez's position near the window allowed him to catch fragments of their discussion. "3 patients this week," Dr. Mitchell was saying, her voice barely above a whisper, all with injuries that don't match their stories about bicycle accidents. "These look more like deliberate assaults, but the victims are all sticking to their bicycle crash explanations." Elena's expression remained calm, but Rodriguez noticed how her hands stilled on the bike frame she'd been working on, suggesting Dr. Mitchell's information had captured her complete attention. Elena listened without interruption as Dr. Mitchell described injury patterns that seemed inconsistent with normal cycling accidents, particularly given that all 3 patients had been experienced cyclists who regularly used Elena's shop for maintenance and repairs. The injuries suggested impacts with blunt objects rather than falls onto pavement, and all 3 victims had been riding in the same general area of the city despite living in different neighborhoods. More concerning was the fact that each patient had specifically requested that Dr. Mitchell not contact police about their injuries, claiming they'd simply lost control of their bicycles due to mechanical failures. Rodriguez felt his professional instincts engaging as he processed the implications of Dr. Mitchell's report. 3 suspicious injuries among cyclists who used the same repair shop could indicate anything from defective equipment to targeted attacks, but the victims' reluctance to involve law enforcement suggested they either knew their attackers or feared retaliation for reporting the incidents. His experience with criminal intelligence gathering made him recognize patterns that civilian authorities might overlook, and the fact that Elena was receiving this information suggested Dr. Mitchell trusted her judgment in ways that went beyond their customer relationship. Elena's response to Dr. Mitchell's concerns revealed another layer of her unusual background, as she began asking questions about injury specifics that demonstrated familiarity with trauma assessment and tactical analysis. Her inquiries focused on the types of impacts that would produce the observed damage, the likely weapons or tools involved, and whether the injury pattern suggested trained attackers or random violence. Rodriguez realized he was listening to someone who understood both the mechanical aspects of how force transferred through bicycle frames during impacts and the tactical considerations of how deliberate attacks would be planned and executed. The conversation between Elena and Dr. Mitchell continued in hushed tones, but Rodriguez caught enough details to understand that the situation involved more than simple assault cases. The 3 injured cyclists had all been riding expensive bikes that Elena had recently serviced, and each attack had occurred in locations that would normally be considered safe for cycling. More troubling was Dr. Mitchell's observation that the injuries appeared to have been inflicted by someone with knowledge of human anatomy, suggesting the attacks were both deliberate and professionally executed. Elena's questions became increasingly specific, focusing on details that would help identify the attacker's methods and possible motives. Her line of inquiry demonstrated familiarity with criminal behavior analysis and tactical assessment that seemed far beyond what a bicycle mechanic would need to know, even one dealing with theft and vandalism issues. Rodriguez found himself impressed by Elena's systematic approach to gathering and analyzing information. recognizing techniques that he associated with military intelligence specialists rather than civilian business owners. The shop's atmosphere had shifted from the peaceful routine of mechanical work to something approaching a tactical briefing. As Elena and Dr. Mitchell discussed potential connections between the attacks and other criminal activity in the area, Elena's contributions to the analysis revealed knowledge of surveillance techniques, pattern recognition, and threat assessment that Rodriguez associated with specialized military training rather than civilian law enforcement experience. Her ability to quickly synthesize complex information and identify potential security vulnerabilities demonstrated skills that would be valuable in military planning operations. As Dr. Mitchell prepared to leave, Elena walked her to the door while continuing their discussion about safety precautions and communication protocols. Rodriguez observed how Elena positioned herself to maintain visual contact with both the street and the shop's interior, a habit that suggested training in situational awareness and tactical positioning. Her casual scan of the surrounding area before opening the door revealed the kind of automatic security assessment that became second nature to military personnel who'd operated in hostile environments where attention to detail could prevent ambushes. The afternoon rain had intensified, creating perfect conditions for surveillance and concealment that would concern anyone with tactical training. Rodriguez noticed how Elena's eyes tracked movement patterns on the street, identifying potential observation points and escape routes with the systematic approach he associated with military reconnaissance specialists. Her ability to maintain normal conversation while conducting continuous security assessment suggested experience in environments where relaxed vigilance could prove fatal, raising new questions about her background and qualifications. After Dr. Mitchell departed, Elena returned to her workbench where Tommy was still admiring his perfectly adjusted BMX bike. Rodriguez remained near the window, ostensibly reviewing his unit's technical requirements but actually processing what he'd overheard about the suspicious cycling injuries. The shop felt different now, charged with an undercurrent of tension that hadn't existed during the morning's routine repair work. Elena's demeanor appeared unchanged as she resumed working on a vintage racing bike, but Rodriguez noticed subtle shifts in her positioning that kept the shop's entrance within her peripheral vision while maintaining clear sight lines to potential exit routes. "Miss Vasquez," Rodriguez said, closing the distance between them with measured steps that wouldn't seem threatening to a civilian, but would be recognized as tactical positioning by anyone with military experience. "I've been watching you work for the past few hours, and your attention to detail is unlike anything I've seen outside of military weapon maintenance." Elena's hands continued their precise movements on the bike's derailleur system, but Rodriguez caught the slight tightening around her eyes that suggested his observation had struck home. Her response would tell him whether his growing suspicions about her background were justified or simply the product of professional paranoia. Elena set down her tools and faced Rodriguez directly, her posture shifting almost imperceptibly from casual mechanic to something more alert and controlled. "Gunnery Sergeant Rodriguez," she said, her voice carrying just enough authority to confirm she understood military hierarchy and protocol. "Precision mechanical work requires the same attention to detail, whether you're adjusting bicycle components or maintaining equipment that people's lives depend on." The careful neutrality of her response neither confirmed nor denied his suspicions, but her use of his full rank and title suggested familiarity with military communication protocols that went beyond casual contact with reserve Marines. Rodriguez pulled out his smartphone and scrolled through photos until he found images from his unit's most recent training exercise, showing Marines conducting precision marksmanship drills at the local shooting range. "These are some of my Marines working on long-range accuracy," he said, turning the screen toward Elena. "The level of mechanical precision required for consistently accurate shooting at extended distances requires understanding of physics engineering, and system integration that most people never develop. Elena studied the photographs with professional interest, her eyes focusing on details that most civilians would overlook: shooting positions, weapon configurations, and environmental conditions that would affect accuracy. Elena's analysis of the photographs revealed knowledge that made Rodriguez's pulse quicken with recognition. She pointed to specific elements in the images that demonstrated understanding of ballistics, weather effects on projectile trajectory, and equipment setup. For precision shooting, that could only come from extensive personal experience. Your Marines are using good fundamental positions, she observed, but their scope mounting systems could be optimized for better consistency under field conditions. Her casual expertise in discussing advanced marksmanship techniques confirmed Rodriguez's growing suspicion that Elena's background included significant firearms training. It sounds like you might be looking for help with creating content for your own channel. Are you working on a video script or social media post where you want to encourage people to subscribe? I'd be happy to help you craft an engaging call to action or subscription reminder for your content. The conversation shifted as Elena began discussing technical aspects of precision shooting with the fluency of someone who'd spent years perfecting these skills. Her knowledge extended far beyond basic familiarity, encompassing advanced concepts like minute of angle calculations, atmospheric density effects on ballistic performance, and equipment modifications that could improve accuracy under varying environmental conditions. Rodriguez found himself listening to explanations that matched or exceeded the expertise of his unit's designated marksman, raising questions about where a bicycle mechanic would acquire such specialized knowledge. Elena's discussion of shooting techniques revealed familiarity with weapon systems and tactical applications that suggested extensive military training rather than civilian recreational shooting. She spoke casually about equipment configurations, ammunition selection, and environmental factors that affected long-range accuracy with the same precision she brought to bicycle mechanical work. Her ability to transition seamlessly between discussing derailleur adjustments and ballistic calculations demonstrated a breadth of technical expertise that Rodriguez associated with specialized military occupational specialties. Tommy looked up from his bike with curiosity as the adult conversation shifted toward topics he didn't understand. But Elena smoothly redirected her attention to ensure the young customer felt included. Tommy, the same principles that make your bike work smoothly apply to lots of different mechanical systems, she explained, using the opportunity to demonstrate how precision and attention to detail created reliable performance across various applications. Her ability to maintain awareness of multiple conversations while processing complex technical information revealed cognitive abilities that Rodriguez associated with military specialists trained to operate under high-stress conditions. Rodriguez decided to test Elena's knowledge more directly by showing her photographs of custom weapon modifications his unit had developed for specific training scenarios. Her responses demonstrated not only familiarity with the equipment, but understanding of the tactical requirements that drove the modifications. These barrel configurations would work well for urban operations, she observed, but you'd want different specifications for open terrain where wind effects become more significant. Her analysis revealed experience with operational environments and mission-specific equipment requirements that civilian shooting enthusiasts rarely encountered. The depth of Elena's technical knowledge became increasingly apparent as Rodriguez continued their discussion, revealing expertise that spanned multiple aspects of precision shooting and tactical operations. Her understanding of equipment integration, environmental factors, and performance optimization demonstrated years of training and practical application that went far beyond recreational firearms use. More intriguingly, her knowledge seemed to focus on the kind of long-range precision shooting that required specialized military training and extensive practice under realistic field conditions. Elena's casual references to operational considerations and tactical applications suggested experience with military missions that required precision shooting under challenging conditions. Her discussion of equipment modifications, environmental adaptations, and performance optimization revealed familiarity with the kind of specialized requirements that civilian shooters rarely encountered. Rodriguez realized he was listening to someone whose expertise rivaled that of military snipers and designated marksmen who'd spent years perfecting their craft in operational environments. The conversation took another turn when Elena mentioned specific shooting competitions and training programs that Rodriguez recognized as being restricted to military and law enforcement personnel. Her knowledge of qualification standards, training methodologies, and equipment specifications revealed participation in programs that required security clearances and military authorization. The casual way she referenced these experiences suggested they were simply part of her background rather than achievements she felt compelled to highlight or explain. Rodriguez's growing certainty about Elena's military background was confirmed when she began discussing advanced concepts that were taught only in specialized military schools. Her knowledge of range estimation techniques, target engagement procedures, and mission planning considerations demonstrated training that was available exclusively to military personnel assigned to precision shooting roles. More significantly, her understanding of operational security and communication protocols revealed experience with classified military operations that required the highest levels of professional competence and personal reliability. Elena's expertise extended beyond individual shooting skills to encompass team operations, mission planning, and tactical coordination that characterize special operations and reconnaissance units. Her discussion of equipment logistics, environmental adaptation, and performance under stress revealed experience with military operations that required exceptional technical proficiency combined with mental toughness and tactical awareness. Rodriguez realized that Elena's bicycle repair shop represented a dramatic change from her previous career, raising questions about why someone with her specialized military background had chosen such a different professional path. The afternoon's revelations transformed Rodriguez's perception of Elena, from skilled mechanic to military professional whose current occupation concealed extensive, specialized training and operational experience. Her ability to analyze complex technical problems, maintain situational awareness, and discuss advanced tactical concepts with casual expertise suggested a background that would be valuable to his Marine Reserve unit. More importantly, her obvious competence and professional discretion indicated someone who could be trusted with sensitive information and challenging responsibilities. Rodriguez found himself reconsidering the technical requirements his unit needed for their upcoming training exercise, realizing that Elena's unique combination of mechanical expertise and military background might provide solutions that purely civilian contractors couldn't offer. Her understanding of both precision engineering and tactical applications positioned her to address problems that required integration of technical proficiency with operational awareness. The question was whether Elena would be willing to apply her specialized skills to military applications again, or if her current civilian life represented a deliberate departure from her previous career. The shop's peaceful atmosphere seemed somehow different now that Rodriguez understood Elena's true capabilities, as if the mechanical sounds of bicycle repair couldn't quite mask the presence of someone whose skills had been forged in far more dangerous environments. Elena continued her work with the same calm precision, but Rodriguez now recognized the tactical awareness and professional competence that civilian customers would never suspect lay beneath her modest exterior as a neighborhood bike mechanic. The afternoon calm shattered when Elena's phone buzzed with an emergency alert that made her blood run cold. The notification displayed a single line of text that transformed the peaceful bike shop into something approaching a tactical operations center. Active shooter Jefferson High School, multiple casualties, shelter in place. Rodriguez saw. Elena's expression changed instantly from casual conversation to the focused intensity he associated with military personnel receiving mission-critical intelligence. Her transformation was so complete and immediate that Tommy looked up from his bike with confusion, sensing the sudden shift in adult energy, even though he couldn't understand its significance. Elena moved to the shop's front window and pulled out a pair of compact binoculars that Rodriguez hadn't noticed among her tools, scanning the street with systematic precision that revealed training in reconnaissance and threat assessment. Jefferson High School was located 6 blocks northeast of her shop, positioned on elevated terrain that would provide clear sight lines across much of the downtown area. "Gunnery Sergeant," Elena said without turning from the window, her voice carrying the crisp authority of someone shifting into operational mode. "I need you to get Tommy out of here immediately and coordinate with local law enforcement to establish a perimeter that keeps civilians away from potential lines of fire." Rodriguez felt his own military training engage as he processed the tactical implications of Elena's immediate response to the crisis. Her instinctive movement to gather intelligence and assess sightlines suggested experience with situations where understanding terrain and positioning could determine life or death outcomes. More significantly, her assumption of command authority indicated someone accustomed to making critical decisions under pressure, raising new questions about her military background and specialized training. "Elena, local SWAT teams will handle the school situation," Rodriguez replied, even as he began moving Tommy toward the shop's rear exit. "We need to focus on keeping civilians safe and supporting official response efforts." Elena's phone erupted with additional emergency notifications as the scope of the crisis became clear through fragmented reports from police scanners and social media posts. The initial shooting at Jefferson High School was apparently part of a coordinated attack involving multiple locations throughout the city, with gunmen simultaneously targeting a shopping mall, government building, and public transit center. Each location had been chosen for maximum civilian casualties and psychological impact, suggesting planning by individuals with military tactical training and extensive reconnaissance of potential targets. The coordination and scope of the attacks indicated resources and capabilities that exceeded typical criminal activity, pointing toward organized terrorism or state-sponsored operations. Rodriguez watched Elena process the incoming information. With the systematic analysis he associated with military intelligence, specialists trained to identify patterns and assess threats under rapidly evolving conditions. Her ability to synthesize multiple data streams and extract tactical significance revealed experience with complex operations where accurate threat assessment could determine mission success or failure. "This isn't random violence," Elena announced, her voice carrying the certainty of someone whose analysis was based on extensive operational experience. "The target selection, timing, and coordination indicate professional planning by individuals with advanced military training and significant resources." The shop's police scanner, which Elena apparently kept for monitoring traffic conditions that might affect customer travel, crackled with increasingly desperate communications from law enforcement agencies struggling to coordinate responses to simultaneous attacks across the city. Rodriguez listened with growing concern as dispatchers reported that conventional police tactics were proving ineffective against attackers who demonstrated superior training, equipment, and tactical awareness. The gunmen appeared to have anticipated law enforcement response patterns and positioned themselves to maintain tactical advantages that maximized casualties, while minimizing their own exposure to counterattack. Elena moved to a locked cabinet that Rodriguez hadn't noticed during his earlier observation of the shop, retrieving equipment that immediately explained why her mechanical precision had seemed so familiar. The cabinet contained custom rifle cases, advanced optical equipment, and technical manuals that revealed the true extent of her specialized military background. Her movements were economical and purposeful as she began assembling components. with the smooth efficiency of someone who'd performed these actions countless times under operational conditions. Rodriguez realized he was watching a military sniper prepare for deployment, using equipment that represented the pinnacle of precision shooting technology. The rifle Elena assembled was unlike anything Rodriguez had seen in standard Marine Corps armories, featuring custom modifications and advanced optics that indicated both extensive technical knowledge and substantial financial investment in precision shooting equipment. Her handling of the weapon revealed familiarity that could only come from years of intensive training and operational use, while her systematic equipment check demonstrated the methodical approach that characterized elite military specialists. "Elena," Rodriguez said quietly, "that's not standard civilian hunting equipment." Her response confirmed what he'd already begun to suspect about her true capabilities and background. Elena's preparation revealed access to ammunition and accessories that were restricted to military and law enforcement use, including specialized rounds designed for precision shooting at extended ranges under challenging environmental conditions. Her selection of specific rounds, based on current weather conditions and anticipated target distances, demonstrated expertise that characterized military snipers rather than civilian marksmen. The technical proficiency she displayed while configuring her equipment matched or exceeded what Rodriguez had observed from Marine Corps designated marksmen who'd received years of specialized training at advanced military schools. The police scanner continued broadcasting increasingly desperate requests for assistance as law enforcement agencies realized their conventional tactics were inadequate against professionally trained attackers operating with military precision. Reports indicated that the gunmen had established defensive positions that maximized their tactical advantages while preventing effective counterattack by police SWAT teams. The attackers' ability to maintain coordinated operations across multiple locations suggested communication systems and command structure that exceeded typical criminal capabilities, indicating either military veterans or foreign operatives with extensive training and resources. Elena studied detailed maps of the city that she retrieved from another locked cabinet, marking potential sniper positions and calculating sight lines. With the expertise Rodriguez associated with military reconnaissance specialists, her analysis revealed intimate knowledge of urban terrain features and tactical considerations that would affect precision shooting operations in built-up areas. The high school position offers clear sight lines to 3 other attack locations, she observed, pointing to elevation advantages that would allow coordinated support across multiple target areas. Her tactical assessment demonstrated understanding of complex operations that required integration of multiple specialist capabilities. Rodriguez realized that Elena's response to the crisis involved far more than civilian concern for community safety, as her preparations indicated intention to engage the attackers, using capabilities that matched or exceeded their own training and equipment. Her systematic approach to mission planning revealed experience with operations where precision shooting could determine outcomes of life or death situations. "Elena, you're talking about engaging multiple trained gunmen in urban terrain," Rodriguez said, his voice reflecting both concern and professional recognition of the tactical challenges involved. "That's beyond what any individual should attempt without extensive support." Elena's analysis of the tactical situation continued as she monitored police communications and social media reports that provided real-time intelligence about the attackers' positions and capabilities. Her ability to process multiple information sources and maintain accurate situational awareness demonstrated cognitive abilities that Rodriguez associated with military specialists trained for complex operations under high-stress conditions. More importantly, her confidence in assessing and responding to the threat suggested operational experience that would be essential for any chance of successful intervention against professionally trained attackers. The scope of the crisis expanded as additional reports confirmed that the coordinated attacks were part of a larger operation. designed to overwhelm local law enforcement and create maximum civilian casualties. Elena's monitoring of emergency communications revealed that conventional police tactics were proven ineffective against attackers, who maintained superior positioning and demonstrated advanced tactical awareness. The situation demanded intervention by someone with specialized capabilities that could match the attackers' training and equipment, creating an opportunity for Elena to apply her military expertise in defense of innocent civilians. Elena's final preparations included communication equipment that would allow coordination with law enforcement agencies while maintaining operational security necessary for precision shooting operations. Her systematic approach to mission planning demonstrated experience with complex operations that required careful integration of technical capabilities with tactical awareness. Rodriguez realized he was witnessing preparation for a military operation conducted by someone whose specialized training and experience positioned her to potentially neutralize threats that conventional law enforcement couldn't effectively counter. Transformation of Elena's peaceful bike shop into an impromptu tactical operations center revealed capabilities that Rodriguez had only suspected during their earlier conversation about precision shooting and mechanical expertise. Her immediate response to the crisis and systematic preparation for engaging multiple trained attackers demonstrated military background that exceeded his initial assessment of her qualifications and experience. The question now was whether Elena's specialized capabilities would prove sufficient to address threats that had already overwhelmed the city's conventional law enforcement resources. Elena's secure satellite phone rang with an encrypted call that made Rodriguez's eyes widen in recognition of military communication protocols he'd never seen used outside of classified operations. The caller ID displayed only a numerical sequence that Elena recognized immediately, causing her to activate additional security measures before answering. "Phoenix 6, this is Overwatch," came a voice that carried the authority of someone coordinating complex military operations from a classified command center. Rodriguez realized he was listening to communication between Elena and personnel operating at classification levels that required the highest security clearances and specialized authorization. The voice on Elena's phone belonged to Colonel David Chen, her former commanding officer from a joint military unit that officially didn't exist in any public records. Chen's unit had been responsible for precision elimination operations in denied territories where conventional military forces couldn't operate without creating diplomatic incidents or revealing classified capabilities. Elena's role had been as the unit's primary long-range specialist, capable of engaging targets at distances that exceeded the capabilities of standard military snipers, while operating independently in hostile environments for extended periods. "Elena, we've been monitoring the coordinated attacks in your area," Colonel Chen continued, his voice reflecting the controlled urgency of someone managing multiple crisis situations simultaneously. "Intelligence indicates these aren't domestic terrorists or random criminals. The attackers are foreign operatives using equipment and tactics that match classified military programs from hostile nations." Elena's expression hardened as she processed the implications of Chen's intelligence assessment, understanding that the local crisis was part of a larger operation with international dimensions that exceeded local law enforcement capabilities. Rodriguez listened with growing amazement as Elena received briefing information that revealed the true scope of the threat facing their city. The coordinated attacks were apparently a field test for new tactics and equipment that foreign intelligence services planned to deploy against American targets on a much larger scale. The operatives conducting the attacks had been specifically chosen for their advanced military training and familiarity with American law enforcement response patterns, making them capable of maintaining tactical superiority over conventional police forces. Elena's phone displayed satellite imagery and intelligence data that showed the attackers positions and movement patterns with precision that indicated real-time surveillance by advanced military reconnaissance systems. Colonel Chun's unit had been tracking the foreign operatives for months as they prepared for their operation, but diplomatic constraints had prevented direct military intervention until the attacks actually began. Elena's presence in the target area created an opportunity for specialized response that could neutralize the threat without revealing the existence of classified military capabilities. The intelligence briefing revealed that the foreign operatives had established their primary command post in Jefferson High School's administrative building, chosen for its elevated position and clear sight lines across the downtown area. From this location, they could coordinate attacks at multiple sites, while maintaining overwatch positions that prevented effective police counterattack. The school's architectural features provided natural defensive advantages that would require specialized assault techniques to overcome, particularly given the operatives' advanced training and military-grade equipment. Elena studied the satellite imagery with professional interest, identifying tactical considerations that would affect any attempt to neutralize the command post without causing civilian casualties. The school building's construction and surrounding terrain created challenges that would require precision shooting capabilities combined with intimate knowledge of urban warfare techniques. "Colonel, what's the civilian situation inside the school?" Elena asked, her voice reflecting the controlled concern of someone whose operational planning always prioritized innocent life protection over mission objectives. Colonel Chun's response confirmed Elena's worst fears about the tactical complexity of the situation they faced. The foreign operatives had taken approximately 200 students and faculty hostage, positioning them as human shields around critical defensive positions to prevent assault by conventional law enforcement. The hostages were being held in locations that maximized their value as protective cover while ensuring that any rescue attempt would result in significant civilian casualties. The operatives' use of human shields demonstrated tactical sophistication that exceeded typical terrorist operations, indicating extensive training in asymmetric warfare techniques. The intelligence data revealed additional complications that made the situation even more challenging for conventional response forces. The foreign operatives had planted explosive devices throughout the school building, positioned to maximize casualties if triggered during any rescue attempt. More concerning was evidence that they possessed chemical weapons that could be deployed against civilian populations if their primary mission objectives weren't achieved. The combination of hostages, explosives, and chemical weapons created a tactical scenario that required specialized intervention capabilities that local law enforcement simply didn't possess. Elena's analysis of the intelligence information focused on identifying opportunities for precision engagement that could neutralize key operatives without triggering massive civilian casualties. Her experience with similar operations in hostile territories had taught her to recognize tactical vulnerabilities that could be exploited by someone with appropriate training and equipment. "Colonel, I can establish overwatch positions that would allow engagement of their command structure while minimizing risk to hostages," she reported, her voice carrying the confidence of someone whose assessments were based on extensive operational experience. Rodriguez found himself witnessing coordination between Elena and military command structures that operated at classification levels he'd never encountered during his reserve service. The ease with which Elena communicated with Colonel Chun revealed ongoing relationships with specialized military units that conducted operations requiring the highest levels of professional competence and security clearance. Her immediate access to classified intelligence and real-time satellite surveillance indicated status within military hierarchy that far exceeded what her civilian occupation would suggest. "It sounds like you might be looking for help with creating content for your own channel. Are you working on a video script or social media post where you want to encourage people to subscribe?" I'd be happy to help you craft an engaging call to action or subscription reminder for your content. The tactical situation became more complex as Colonel Chun provided additional intelligence about the foreign operatives' capabilities and mission objectives. The coordinated attacks were designed not only to cause civilian casualties, but to demonstrate vulnerabilities in American domestic security that could be exploited during future operations. The operatives were gathering intelligence about law enforcement response patterns, communication systems, and tactical capabilities that would inform larger-scale attacks planned for major metropolitan areas across the country. Elena's phone displayed technical specifications for the equipment being used by foreign operatives, revealing capabilities that matched or exceeded standard American military systems. Their weapons, communication gear, and defensive equipment indicated access to advanced technology that suggested state sponsorship rather than independent terrorist operations. The sophistication of their equipment, combined with their demonstrated tactical proficiency, created challenges that would require specialized countermeasures to neutralize effectively without catastrophic civilian casualties. Colonel Chun's briefing continued with information about the operatives' extraction plan, which involved helicopter support from aircraft operating out of a temporary base established in the mountains east of the city. The extraction plan's complexity indicated extensive preparation and substantial resources, confirming that the attacks were part of a larger operation with significant backing from hostile foreign intelligence services. Elena's knowledge of the local terrain and her precision shooting capabilities positioned her to potentially disrupt the extraction while neutralizing key operatives during their withdrawal phase. The intelligence data revealed that conventional law enforcement agencies were being systematically outmaneuvered by operatives who possessed superior training, equipment, and tactical awareness. Police SWAT teams had been unable to establish effective positions for assault or negotiation, while the operatives maintained communication superiority that allowed real-time coordination across multiple attack sites. The situation demanded intervention by someone with specialized military capabilities that could match the operatives' advantages while exploiting their operational vulnerabilities. Elena's preparation accelerated as she received targeting information that identified specific operatives whose elimination would disrupt the coordinated attacks and create opportunities for hostage rescue. Her analysis of the tactical situation revealed several positions where precision shooting could neutralize key personnel without triggering massive retaliation against civilian hostages. The success of such operations would depend on timing, accuracy, and coordination with law enforcement agencies that lacked understanding of the specialized techniques required for precision elimination under these conditions. Rodriguez realized that Elena's response to the crisis involved capabilities and authorization that operated outside normal civilian or military channels, indicating involvement with classified programs that address threats requiring extraordinary measures. Her ability to receive real-time intelligence support and coordinate with specialized military units demonstrated access to resources that were available only to personnel with the highest security clearances and proven operational competence in the most challenging environments. Elena's transformation from neighborhood bike mechanic to military operative became complete as she donned tactical gear that Rodriguez recognized as representing the pinnacle of special operations equipment. Her movements carried the fluid efficiency of someone whose muscle memory had been forged through countless hours of preparation for exactly this type of crisis situation. The specialized rifle she assembled incorporated modifications that pushed the boundaries of precision shooting technology, featuring custom barrels, advanced optics, and ammunition specifically designed for urban operations where collateral damage could prove catastrophic for innocent civilians trapped in the crossfire. Rodriguez watched Elena conduct final equipment checks with systematic thoroughness that revealed training protocols he associated with elite military units operating under conditions where equipment failure could determine mission success or failure. Her verification process encompassed everything from ammunition compatibility to communication system functionality, demonstrating attention to detail that characterized operators whose lives depended on perfect equipment performance under extreme stress. "Gunnery Sergeant," Elena said, without looking up from her preparations, "I need you to coordinate with local law enforcement to establish evacuation corridors that keep civilians away from potential engagement zones." The tactical plan Elena outlined to Rodriguez revealed operational thinking that integrated precision shooting capabilities with broader strategic objectives, designed to minimize civilian casualties while maximizing effectiveness against professionally trained adversaries. Her approach recognized that conventional assault tactics would result in massive hostage casualties, requiring instead surgical elimination of key operatives at critical moments when their removal would create cascading failures throughout the coordinated attack structure. The complexity of her planning demonstrated experience with operations where success required perfect timing combined with technical execution that exceeded standard military capabilities. Elena's secure communication system activated with intelligence updates that provided real-time information about operative movements and defensive positions throughout the coordinated attack sites. The data stream included satellite imagery, signal intercepts, and reconnaissance information that painted a comprehensive picture of the tactical situation facing law enforcement agencies across the city. Her ability to process multiple intelligence sources simultaneously while maintaining operational planning revealed cognitive abilities that Rodriguez associated with military specialists trained for the most complex and demanding operational environments. The intelligence data confirmed Elena's assessment that the foreign operatives had established interlocking fields of fire that prevented conventional assault while maintaining command and control capabilities across multiple attack sites. Their positioning demonstrated tactical sophistication that indicated extensive training in asymmetric warfare, techniques designed to maximize their advantages over numerically superior but conventionally trained opponents. Elena's analysis identified vulnerabilities in their defensive structure that could be exploited through precision engagement at specific locations and timing intervals that would disrupt their coordination capabilities. Elena's movement toward her primary firing position revealed familiarity with urban terrain that exceeded casual knowledge of the local area, suggesting extensive reconnaissance and preparation that predated the current crisis. Her route selection avoided areas that would expose her to observation while positioning her to engage multiple targets across the coordinated attack sites. The precision of her positioning demonstrated understanding of ballistic considerations, environmental factors, and tactical geometry that characterized operators trained for precision elimination under the most challenging conditions possible. Rodriguez coordinated with arriving law enforcement personnel to establish perimeter security that would support Elena's operations while protecting civilians from crossfire or retaliation by surviving operatives. His explanation of Elena's capabilities and mission authorization required careful balance between providing necessary tactical information and maintaining operational security for classified military programs. The complexity of coordinating civilian law enforcement with specialized military operations revealed challenges that required diplomatic skills, combined with tactical expertise that few personnel possessed. Elena's first engagement target was the primary command operative coordinating attacks from Jefferson High School's administrative building, whose elimination would disrupt communication and control capabilities across all attack sites simultaneously. Her calculation of range, environmental factors, and tactical timing revealed expertise that characterized the most advanced precision shooting capabilities available to American military forces. The shot required accounting for wind patterns, structural interference, and timing coordination that pushed precision shooting techniques to their absolute limits under operational conditions. The precision required for Elena's engagement exceeded what most military personnel would consider possible under urban combat conditions, requiring integration of technical shooting skills with tactical awareness that few operators ever developed. Her preparation included detailed analysis of target behavior patterns, defensive positioning, and environmental factors that would affect bullet trajectory over the extended range required for the engagement. The complexity of the shot demonstrated why Elena's specialized capabilities had been essential for classified operations that conventional military forces couldn't accomplish. Elena's communication with Colonel Chun's command center provided real-time coordination that synchronized her operations with broader tactical activities designed to exploit the disruption her precision engagements would create across the coordinated attack structure. The timing requirements demanded split-second coordination between Elena's shooting and law enforcement assault operations that would capitalize on the confusion and communication breakdown her eliminations would cause among the remaining operatives. The operational complexity required coordination capabilities that exceeded standard military protocols. Rodriguez monitored police communications to track the effectiveness of Elena's operations as they began to impact the tactical situation across multiple attack sites simultaneously. The elimination of key command personnel created cascading failures in the operatives' coordination capabilities, allowing law enforcement agencies to gain tactical advantages they hadn't possessed since the coordinated attacks began. Elena's systematic targeting of critical personnel demonstrated operational planning that accounted for the psychological and tactical effects her precision eliminations would have on surviving operatives. Elena's second engagement target required adjustment for significantly different environmental conditions, as her position relative to the shopping mall attack site involved different range calculations and atmospheric factors that would affect bullet trajectory. Her ability to rapidly recalculate technical parameters while maintaining situational awareness of multiple tactical situations demonstrated cognitive abilities that Rodriguez associated with operators trained for the most demanding special operations environments. The technical precision required for successful engagement under these conditions exceeded what standard military training could provide. The psychological impact of Elena's precision eliminations began affecting the remaining operatives' tactical capabilities as they realized they were facing capabilities that exceeded their expectations for American domestic response. Their coordination began breaking down as communication systems failed and command structure collapsed under the systematic elimination of key personnel. Elena's understanding of how precision elimination affected enemy morale and tactical effectiveness revealed experience with operations where psychological factors were as important as technical shooting capabilities. Elena's third engagement required coordination with law enforcement assault teams, whose timing had to synchronize perfectly with her elimination of Overwatch personnel protecting the government building attack site. The complexity of coordinating precision shooting with dynamic assault operations demanded communication and timing capabilities that few military units ever developed. Her ability to maintain awareness of multiple tactical situations while executing precision shots under time pressure demonstrated operational competence that characterized elite special operations personnel. Rodriguez observed Elena's systematic elimination of critical operatives across the coordinated attack sites, recognizing tactical effectiveness that exceeded what he believed possible from individual operators working without direct support. Her precision shooting capabilities combined with strategic thinking created operational results that were transforming the tactical situation in favor of law enforcement agencies that had been systematically outmatched by professionally trained adversaries. The demonstration of Elena's true capabilities revealed why her specialized training had been essential for classified military operations, requiring extraordinary precision and effectiveness. The tactical situation continued evolving as Elena's Operations created opportunities for hostage rescue and site clearance that hadn't existed while the foreign operatives maintained their coordinated command structure. Her systematic targeting had identified and eliminated the specific personnel, whose removal would create maximum disruption to the coordinated attacks while minimizing risk to civilian hostages. The operational success demonstrated strategic thinking combined with technical execution that characterized the most advanced military capabilities available for precision operations under urban combat conditions. Elena's first precision shot echoed across the downtown area with the sharp crack that Rodriguez recognized as the signature of military-grade ammunition fired from custom-built precision rifles. The sound carried differently than standard weapons fire, possessing a clarity and authority that spoke to the technical sophistication of both weapon and operator. Through his binoculars, Rodriguez watched the immediate impact of Elena's engagement. As the foreign operative commanding the high school position simply ceased all movement, his elimination creating instant confusion among the remaining attackers who had believed their elevated position provided complete security from ground-based threats. The tactical radio frequencies immediately erupted with panicked communications from the remaining operatives as they struggled to understand how their carefully planned defensive positions had been compromised by capabilities they hadn't anticipated. Elena's systematic elimination of their command structure was proceeding exactly as she'd planned, creating cascading failures in coordination that allowed law enforcement agencies to begin gaining tactical advantages for the first time since the coordinated attacks had begun. The precision and timing of her operations demonstrated mastery of urban warfare techniques that exceeded what most military personnel ever developed during their careers. Rodriguez coordinated with arriving SWAT teams to capitalize on the tactical opportunities Elena's operations were creating, explaining how her precision eliminations were systematically degrading the operatives' command and control capabilities. The law enforcement commanders initially expressed skepticism about civilian involvement in tactical operations, but the immediate results of Elena's interventions spoke louder than any credentials or explanations Rodriguez could provide. The systematic breakdown of the coordinated attacks vindicated Elena's assessment that surgical elimination of key personnel would prove more effective than conventional assault tactics. Elena's second engagement target presented significantly more complex technical challenges, requiring calculation of ballistic trajectories that accounted for urban wind patterns, structural interference, and the target's defensive positioning behind cover that would defeat most precision shooting attempts. Her analysis of the tactical geometry involved considerations that pushed precision shooting techniques to their absolute limits, accounting for bullet drop, wind drift, and structural penetration capabilities that required intimate knowledge of both ballistics and construction materials. The shot demanded technical execution that few operators could accomplish under ideal conditions, much less during active combat operations. The intelligence data streaming to Elena's position provided real-time updates on operative movements and defensive adjustments that confirmed the psychological impact her precision eliminations were having on the remaining attackers. Their tactical discipline was beginning to break down under the stress of facing capabilities they hadn't prepared to counter, creating opportunities for law enforcement engagement that hadn't existed while the operatives maintained their coordinated command structure. Elena's understanding of how precision elimination affected enemy psychology revealed experience with operations where tactical and psychological factors were equally important for mission success. Elena's preparation for her second shot involved technical calculations that impressed Rodriguez with their complexity and precision, as she accounted for environmental factors that would challenge even experienced military snipers operating under controlled conditions. Her analysis included atmospheric pressure variations, temperature gradients, and structural interference patterns that required integration of meteorological data with ballistic calculations that pushed precision shooting to its theoretical limits. The technical sophistication of her approach demonstrated training that exceeded standard military sniper programs by significant margins. The second precision shot required Elena to engage a target positioned behind cover that would provide protection against conventional weapons fire, necessitating ammunition selection and trajectory calculation that could penetrate structural barriers while maintaining lethal effectiveness. Her choice of specialized rounds designed for barrier penetration demonstrated access to military ammunition that was restricted to the most classified operations, while her understanding of how different materials would affect bullet performance revealed technical knowledge that few personnel outside specialized programs ever acquired. Rodriguez monitored police communications as Elena's second elimination created additional tactical advantages for law enforcement agencies struggling to coordinate effective responses to the remaining attack sites. The systematic degradation of the operative's command structure was allowing police units to establish positions and coordinate movements that had been impossible while facing professionally coordinated opposition. Elena's operational planning was proving its effectiveness through measurable improvements in law enforcement tactical capabilities across multiple engagement sites simultaneously. Elena's communication with Colonel Chun's command center provided continuous updates on the tactical situation while receiving intelligence data that helped optimize her targeting priorities based on real-time assessment of which eliminations would provide maximum tactical advantage. The coordination between Elena's precision operations and broader military intelligence capabilities demonstrated integration of individual operator skills with national-level resources that few personnel ever experienced during their careers. Her ability to function as both independent operator and coordinated team member revealed versatility that characterized elite special operations personnel. The third engagement presented Elena with her most challenging technical requirements, as the target's position required precision shooting through multiple environmental obstacles while accounting for wind patterns that changed significantly between her position and the target location. Her calculation process involved meteorological analysis that would challenge weather specialists, combined with ballistic computations that required understanding of how environmental factors interacted with projectile performance over extended ranges. The technical complexity of the shot demonstrated why Elena's specialized training had been essential for operations that conventional military capabilities couldn't accomplish. Elena's systematic approach to the third engagement revealed operational methodology that integrated technical shooting skills with tactical analysis capabilities that few personnel possessed in combination. Her assessment of target behavior patterns, defensive positioning, and environmental factors created a comprehensive operational picture that enabled precision engagement under conditions that would defeat less capable operators. The thoroughness of her preparation demonstrated why specialized military programs invested years in developing personnel capable of operating at these performance levels. Rodriguez observed Elena's execution of the third precision shot with professional admiration for technical capabilities that exceeded his previous understanding of what individual operators could accomplish under combat conditions. The elimination of the third key operative created tactical effects that were immediately visible across the coordinated attack sites as remaining operatives lost coordination and began making tactical errors that law enforcement agencies could exploit. Elena's understanding of how systematic targeting affected enemy capabilities revealed strategic thinking that complemented her technical shooting skills. The psychological impact of Elena's precision operations was becoming apparent through intercepted communications between remaining operatives whose tactical discipline continued deteriorating as they realized they were facing capabilities that exceeded their preparation and expectations. Their increasing desperation created tactical opportunities that Elena coordinated with law enforcement commanders to maximize effectiveness while minimizing risk to civilian hostages. The integration of precision elimination with conventional tactical operations demonstrated coordination, capabilities that required extensive training and operational experience. Elena's fourth engagement. Target required adaptation to significantly different environmental conditions as weather patterns shifted during the extended operation, necessitating recalculation of ballistic parameters and adjustment of equipment settings to maintain precision. Effectiveness. Her ability to adapt to changing operational conditions while maintaining technical performance standards demonstrated flexibility that characterized operators trained for the most demanding special operations environments. The technical proficiency required for consistent performance under varying conditions exceeded what standard military training could provide. Rodriguez coordinated with law enforcement commanders to establish tactical positions that would capitalize on the continuing breakdown of the operative's coordination capabilities, explaining how Elena's systematic targeting was creating specific opportunities for hostage rescue and site clearance operations. The law enforcement response was becoming increasingly effective as Elena's precision eliminations removed the tactical advantages that had prevented successful police intervention. The coordination between Elena's specialized capabilities and conventional law enforcement resources demonstrated how individual excellence could amplify broader tactical effectiveness. Elena's monitoring of the tactical situation revealed that her precision operations were achieving the strategic objectives Colonel Chun's intelligence assessment had identified as essential for neutralizing the coordinated attack threat. The systematic elimination of key operatives was creating cascading failures throughout the attack structure that would soon allow complete resolution of the crisis through conventional law enforcement operations. Her understanding of how precision targeting affected complex tactical situations revealed operational expertise that few personnel ever developed during their military careers. The tactical situation continued, evolving in law enforcement's favor, as Elena's operations created opportunities for decisive action against the remaining operatives, whose coordination capabilities had been systematically degraded to the point where they could no longer maintain effective defensive positions. Her precision eliminations had identified and neutralized the specific personnel whose removal would create maximum tactical advantage, while minimizing risk to civilian hostages throughout the coordinated attack sites. Elena's fourth precision shot presented the most technically demanding challenge of the operation, requiring engagement of a target positioned inside the government building's fortified conference room where the remaining operative leaders had established their final command post. The target's position behind reinforced concrete and ballistic glass created barriers that would defeat conventional weapons, necessitating ammunition and trajectory calculations that pushed precision shooting beyond its normal operational parameters. Her analysis of the structural challenges involved understanding of building materials, penetration mechanics, and ballistic performance that few operators ever encountered during their careers. The intelligence data flowing to Elena's position indicated that the remaining operatives had consolidated their positions and were preparing to execute their extraction plan, which involved helicopter support and the systematic elimination of all civilian hostages to prevent intelligence gathering by American authorities. The timeline for preventing this final phase of the operation was measured in minutes rather than hours, creating pressure that would challenge even the most experienced operators working under combat conditions. Elena's preparation for the final engagements had to account for time constraints that eliminated opportunities for extensive calculation and preparation. Rodriguez monitored emergency communications as law enforcement agencies reported that conventional assault tactics were proving ineffective against the operatives' final defensive positions, which had been specifically chosen to maximize their tactical advantages while preventing effective counterattack. The fortified positions provided overlapping fields of fire that would result in massive casualties among any assault force, while the presence of civilian hostages prevented the use of heavy weapons or explosive breaching techniques. Elena's precision capabilities represented the only viable option for neutralizing the remaining threats without catastrophic civilian casualties. Elena's calculation of the trajectory required for penetrating the government building's defensive barriers involved ballistic analysis that exceeded standard military training by significant margins, incorporating understanding of how specialized ammunition would perform when encountering multiple barrier types in sequence. Her selection of armor-piercing rounds designed for barrier penetration demonstrated access to military ammunition that was restricted to the most classified operations, while her understanding of how structural materials would affect bullet performance revealed technical knowledge that few personnel outside specialized programs ever acquired. The technical complexity of Elena's final engagement required integration of meteorological data, structural analysis, and ballistic calculations that would challenge teams of specialists working under laboratory conditions, yet she was performing these computations in real time while maintaining awareness of rapidly evolving tactical situations across multiple locations. Her ability to process complex technical information under extreme time pressure demonstrated cognitive abilities that Rodriguez, associated with operators trained for the most demanding special operations environments where split-second decisions could determine mission outcomes. Elena's communication with Colonel Chun's command center provided coordination for the final phase of the operation, which involved synchronized elimination of the remaining operative leadership while law enforcement agencies conducted simultaneous hostage rescue operations at all attack sites. The timing requirements demanded precision that exceeded standard military coordination protocols, requiring Elena to execute her eliminations at specific moments that would maximize tactical advantage for rescue operations while minimizing opportunities for retaliation against civilian hostages. Rodriguez observed Elena's preparation for the final shots with professional recognition of capabilities that exceeded his previous understanding of what individual operators could accomplish under the most challenging combat conditions. Her systematic approach to multiple simultaneous engagements revealed operational methodology that integrated technical shooting skills with strategic thinking capabilities that few personnel possessed in combination. The thoroughness of her preparation demonstrated why specialized military programs invested years in developing personnel capable of operating at these unprecedented performance levels. Elena's execution of the final precision shots required rapid transition between multiple targets positioned at different ranges and environmental conditions, necessitating equipment adjustments and ballistic recalculations that would challenge operators working under controlled conditions. Her ability to maintain technical precision while adapting to varying operational parameters demonstrated flexibility and competence that characterized elite special operations personnel trained for the most demanding missions. The technical proficiency required for consistent performance under these conditions exceeded what standard military training programs could provide. The elimination of the final operative command structure created immediate tactical effects that were visible across all attack sites as remaining personnel lost coordination and began making desperate tactical errors that law enforcement agencies could exploit effectively. Elena's understanding of how systematic targeting affected enemy capabilities had proven accurate, as the coordinated attack structure collapsed under the systematic removal of its command and control elements. The operational success demonstrated strategic thinking, combined with technical execution that characterized the most advanced military capabilities. Rodriguez coordinated with law enforcement commanders as Elena's operations created opportunities for decisive hostage rescue operations that hadn't existed while the operatives maintained their coordinated defensive positions. The breakdown of enemy coordination allowed SWAT teams to establish tactical advantages and execute rescue operations that had been impossible during the earlier phases of the crisis. Elena's precision eliminations had transformed the tactical situation from desperate defense to successful offensive operations across multiple sites. Simultaneously, Elena's monitoring of post-engagement communications revealed that her operations had achieved complete disruption of the coordinated attack structure, with surviving operatives abandoning their positions and attempting individual extraction rather than maintaining organized resistance. The psychological impact of facing capabilities they hadn't prepared to counter had broken their tactical discipline and destroyed their operational effectiveness. Her understanding of how precision elimination affected enemy morale and coordination had proven essential for neutralizing threats that conventional tactics couldn't address effectively. The intelligence data confirmed that Elena's systematic targeting had identified and eliminated the specific personnel whose removal would create maximum tactical disruption while minimizing risk to civilian hostages throughout the operation. Her operational planning had accounted for the cascading effects that precision eliminations would have on enemy coordination capabilities, creating opportunities for law enforcement success that hadn't existed through conventional approaches. The strategic effectiveness of her targeting demonstrated operational expertise that few personnel ever developed during their military careers. Rodriguez observed the final phases of the crisis resolution as law enforcement agencies capitalized on the tactical advantages Elena's operations had created, conducting successful hostage rescue operations and site clearance activities that concluded the coordinated attack threat. The transformation from desperate defensive operations to successful tactical conclusion demonstrated how individual excellence could amplify broader operational capabilities when properly integrated with conventional resources. Elena's specialized training had provided capabilities that proved essential for addressing threats that exceeded standard law enforcement capabilities. Elena's communication with Colonel Chun's command center provided confirmation that the coordinated attack had been neutralized and that intelligence gathering operations were proceeding to identify the broader network that had supported the foreign operatives. Her role in the operation would remain classified, but the tactical success had provided intelligence opportunities that would help prevent similar attacks in the future. The operational effectiveness she had demonstrated would inform future planning for addressing asymmetric threats that required specialized military capabilities. The tactical conclusion of Elena's operations revealed capabilities that exceeded Rodriguez's previous understanding of precision shooting and urban warfare techniques, demonstrating why specialized military programs developed personnel capable of operating at performance levels that conventional training couldn't achieve. Her integration of technical shooting skills with strategic thinking and tactical coordination had proven essential for neutralizing threats that would have overwhelmed conventional response capabilities. The operational success validated the investment in specialized training that produced personnel capable of extraordinary performance under the most challenging conditions. Elena's systematic approach to the entire operation had demonstrated methodology that integrated individual operator capabilities with broader tactical and strategic objectives, creating operational effectiveness that exceeded what conventional military or law enforcement resources could achieve independently. Her understanding of how precision elimination affected complex tactical situations had enabled successful resolution of a crisis that threatened to overwhelm local response capabilities through superior coordination and equipment. The demonstration of her specialized capabilities revealed why certain military programs maintained personnel trained for operations that exceeded standard military parameters. Rodriguez realized that Elena's response to the coordinated attack had revealed capabilities and training that positioned her among the most qualified precision operators available to American military forces, with demonstrated ability to function effectively under conditions that would challenge entire teams of conventional personnel. Her technical proficiency combined with tactical awareness and strategic Thinking represented the pinnacle of specialized military training applied to domestic security threats that required extraordinary measures for successful resolution. Elena's return to her bike shop 3 days after the coordinated attacks felt surreal as she resumed the familiar routine of adjusting derailleurs and truing wheels while the city processed the magnitude of what had transpired. The official reports credited exceptional law enforcement, coordination, and advanced tactical response for neutralizing the foreign operatives, with no mention of the precision shooting that had actually turned the tide of the crisis. Rodriguez visited the shop regularly now, bringing legitimate motorcycle maintenance requests while maintaining the cover story that explained their professional relationship to anyone who might be monitoring Elena's activities. The aftermath. Investigations revealed the true scope of the international conspiracy that had targeted American cities for coordinated attacks designed to test domestic security vulnerabilities. Intelligence agencies discovered that the Portland operation had been one of several simultaneous probes conducted across the country, with foreign operatives gathering data about response capabilities that would inform larger-scale attacks planned for major metropolitan areas. Elena's intervention had not only saved hundreds of civilian lives but had also disrupted intelligence gathering that could have enabled devastating future operations against American targets. Colonel Chun's debriefing sessions with Elena took place in secure locations away from her shop, where she provided detailed analysis of the operatives' capabilities and tactical methods that would inform future defensive planning. Her observations about their equipment, training, and operational procedures revealed sophisticated state-sponsored programs that were developing asymmetric warfare capabilities specifically designed to exploit perceived weaknesses in American domestic security. The intelligence value of her direct engagement with professionally trained foreign operatives provided insights that CONVENTIONAL intelligence gathering methods couldn't have obtained. Elena's specialized equipment was quietly returned to secure storage facilities with her custom rifles and advanced optics, disappearing into classified military inventories, where they would remain available for future operations requiring her unique capabilities. The transition back to civilian life required careful attention to operational security, ensuring that her continued availability for classified missions wouldn't be compromised by unwanted attention from foreign intelligence services or domestic media organizations. Seeking to identify the individuals responsible for neutralizing the coordinated attacks, Rodriguez's Marine Reserve Unit received new training opportunities and equipment upgrades that reflected lessons learned from the Portland crisis, though the specific source of these improvements remained classified above his clearance level. His growing friendship with Elena provided informal consultation on precision shooting techniques and tactical planning that enhanced his unit's capabilities, while maintaining appropriate security boundaries. The professional respect between them had evolved into genuine partnership based on shared commitment to protecting innocent civilians from sophisticated threats. The bike shop's customer base gradually returned to normal as the immediate crisis atmosphere faded, with regular patrons resuming their routine maintenance needs and new customers discovering Elena's exceptional mechanical expertise. Tommy Chun continued his weekly visits to discuss BMX modifications and maintenance, unaware that the quiet woman who fixed his bike had recently saved his city from international terrorism. Elena's ability to compartmentalize her dual existence allowed her to provide the same careful attention to bicycle repairs that she brought to precision shooting operations. Dr. Sarah Mitchell's follow-up visits to Elena's shop revealed that the suspicious cycling injuries had ceased completely following the neutralization of the foreign operatives, confirming that the attacks on Elena's customers had been reconnaissance operations designed to identify potential security threats. In the target area, the foreign operatives had been systematically eliminating individuals whose expertise or positioning might interfere with their planned attacks. not realizing that their surveillance had actually identified the one person capable of stopping. Then, through superior tactical capabilities, Elena's secure communication systems remained active for coordination with Colonel Chun's unit, though the frequency of contact had decreased as intelligence agencies worked to identify and neutralize other cells associated with the international conspiracy. Her readiness for immediate deployment remained unchanged, with equipment and transportation arrangements that would allow rapid response to crisis situations requiring her specialized capabilities. The successful resolution of the Portland operation had demonstrated the value of maintaining highly trained personnel in civilian cover positions, where they could respond to threats that conventional forces couldn't address effectively. Rodriguez observed subtle changes in Elena's demeanor that reflected the satisfaction of someone who had successfully applied years of specialized training to protect innocent civilians from sophisticated threats. Her precision mechanical work continued with the same methodical excellence, but there was an additional sense of purpose that came from knowing her unique combination of skills served essential national security functions. The validation of her training and capabilities had reinforced her commitment to maintaining readiness for future operations requiring her extraordinary precision and tactical expertise. The intelligence community's analysis of the Portland operation became a classified case study for addressing asymmetric threats that exceeded conventional law enforcement capabilities, with Elena's tactical approach serving as a model for future responses to similar crises. Her demonstration that individual operators with specialized training could neutralize sophisticated terrorist cells provided strategic options for addressing threats that couldn't be countered through traditional military or law enforcement methods. The operational success validated investment in personnel development programs that produced capabilities exceeding standard military parameters. Elena's workshop continued serving the Portland cycling community with the same dedication to mechanical precision that had characterized her military service, though customers remained unaware that their trusted bike mechanic possessed capabilities that had recently saved their city from international terrorism. The normalcy of her civilian life provided perfect operational cover while maintaining her availability for classified missions requiring precision shooting expertise that few personnel could provide. Her dual existence represented the successful integration of specialized military capabilities with civilian responsibilities that served both individual fulfillment and national security objectives. Rodriguez and Elena's friendship deepened through shared understanding of the responsibilities that came with specialized military training and the satisfaction of using those capabilities to protect innocent civilians from sophisticated threats. Their professional relationship provided mutual support for maintaining readiness while navigating the complexities of civilian life that followed intensive military service. The bond between them reflected the camaraderie that developed among personnel who had proven themselves under the most challenging operational conditions. The broader implications of Elena's successful intervention continued rippling through intelligence and law enforcement communities as agencies adapted their planning to account for the capabilities that individual specialists could provide during crisis situations. Her demonstration that precision shooting expertise combined with tactical awareness could neutralize threats that overwhelmed conventional responses influenced resource allocation and training priorities across multiple government agencies. The strategic value of maintaining highly qualified personnel in civilian positions became a model for future security planning. Elena's contentment with her dual existence reflected the successful balance between specialized military capabilities and civilian community service that provided both personal satisfaction and national security benefits. Her ability to maintain operational readiness while building genuine relationships within her adopted community demonstrated that specialized military training could enhance rather than complicate civilian life when properly integrated. The fulfillment she found in both precision shooting and precision mechanical work reflected the common thread of technical excellence that connected her military and civilian careers. What seemed like an ordinary bike mechanic turned out to be one of America's most lethal precision operators, saving hundreds of lives through skills that defied imagination. Elena's story proves that heroes often hide in plain sight, ready to step forward when their communities need them most. If this incredible true story of courage and precision left you amazed, hit that like button to show your support for our veterans who continue serving in ways we never see. Subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories of ordinary people with extraordinary capabilities, and ring that notification bell so you never miss these incredible tales of hidden heroes. What other everyday professionals do you think might be hiding remarkable backgrounds? Share your thoughts in the comments below.